Free Isio, enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Isio.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Isio must not die. Isio.
In the heart of the ancient kingdom of Idodo in Africa, tradition stood as an unyielding pillar, shaping the lives of its people for generations. Idodo's customs were sacred, and no one dared to transgress, for the consequences were not only unbearable, but considered a curse upon the offender. The society held women in the highest regard, seeing them as the custodians of the family, the bearers of children, and deserving of utmost respect and care. Insulting a woman in Idodo was a serious offense, punishable by a hefty fine or imprisonment. Every 3 years, the kingdom embarked on a grand festival of remembrance, honoring their forefathers with elaborate rituals and sacrifices. The culmination of this festival was the ceremony of circumcision, where women who had reached puberty or were due for marriage gathered to undergo mass circumcision. The community celebrated this event, believing it to be an integral part of their tradition. In the midst of this deeply entrenched cultural practice, a young and beautiful girl named Isio emerged as a beacon of change. Isio had left the kingdom before reaching puberty, coming into contact with foreign cultures and gaining education that enlightened her perspectives. Upon her return to Idodo, she found herself at odds with the age-old custom of female circumcision, which she vehemently labeled as female genital mutilation, FGM. Isio, undeterred by the potential repercussions, decided to challenge the status quo. She began mobilizing the women of Idodo, educating them about the physical and psychological consequences of FGM. Her charisma and passion inspired a movement that echoed the sentiment of enough is enough throughout the kingdom. The news of Isio's rebellion reached the ears of the king and the council of chiefs, who saw her actions as a direct challenge to the very fabric of their society. Isio was promptly brought to trial, where she faced charges of rebellion and blasphemy against the sacred traditions of Idodo. The sentence was swift and severe: death by being bound hand and foot, then dumped in the dreaded evil forest to face an excruciating end. However, the resilience of Isio surprised everyone. As she lay in the heart of the menacing forest, the women of Idodo, moved by her cause, secretly aided her. They defied the king's decree, sneaking into the forest to feed and nourish Isio. Their clandestine efforts allowed her to survive the 14 agonizing days in the evil forest, defying the odds and emerging victorious over the clutches of death. As the news spread of Isio's survival, it ignited a spark of rebellion among the women who had previously lived in silence. The king, realizing the tides were turning, had no choice but to reconsider his stance. Isio was brought back to the kingdom, her body bearing the scars of her ordeal, but her spirit unbroken. In a surprising turn of events, the king, the council of chiefs, and the entire community acknowledged the strength and courage displayed by Isio. They realized the necessity of re-evaluating their traditions and embracing change. In a monumental decision, the king publicly declared an end to the practice of female circumcision in Idodo Kingdom. Isio, once condemned to death, now stood as a symbol of resilience and change. The women of Idodo, inspired by her courage, found their voices and a new sense of empowerment. The kingdom celebrated a newfound unity as the festival of circumcision transitioned into a celebration of transformation and progress. Isio, having emerged victorious from the crucible of adversity, was not just a heroine for the women of Idodo, but a catalyst for change that rippled through the ancient kingdom. The phrase, "enough is enough," echoed not just in the hearts of the women, but in the collective consciousness of a society that had chosen to evolve, embracing a future where the well-being of its members prevailed over archaic traditions.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe.